Welcome to the Mind of the Exoticpreneur, where defining your purpose is wearing it with pride. I am Donald Paredes, your man, your friend, your gentleman. Welcome to the show. Today, I really want to, since we're still in the season of vulnerability, and I wanted to get back to the basics. I wanted to get back to the true root of all things. And the root of all things is growing up when you're maturing and you're doing better and you've gotten into the exotic world, you got into the adult world for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons that we get caught up in the nature of it, I believe, has to do with the blame game. What's the blame game? It's, who are you going to blame? Who do you have an attitude? Who are you rebelling against that basically put you in this position or made you want to go into the underworld? Now, a lot of us are caught up, are just in the game out of necessity. It's just what it is. There's a lot going on around you. Some of us get into the game for curiosity. Like me, myself, I got in the game because I seen an opportunity. I grew up broke, but not poor. So me going into the exotic entertainment world as for a skill set, for professionalism, and for making a living, that's not what I set out to be. Actually, I wanted to be an animator. And becoming an animator in the early 90s, 2000s wasn't like ideal. Hell, they didn't even understand what the hell it was. Because when you think of animation, what do you think of? Back in that time was Disney. That was it. Pixar was just being introduced in 96. I was a teenager, right? And because my parents and my family didn't comprehend or even understand what the hell that was, they didn't support it. Instead, I grew up in the Motor City. I grew up in the 313, Detroit. So that's all automotive. You feel what I'm saying? That's all cars, cars, and more cars and drugs. That's all it was. Cars, drugs, and hot and readies. You feel me? That's all the Motor City or the Mid, especially the Midwest, but the Motor City, the cold cities, was all about. Listen, they only want to do is show out when they got a chance to get hot and hustle to get the flash, because we wasn't in the rooms like we are now. The great part about social media, the internet, now AI, is the fact of the matter that we got an opportunity to step outside of the box and show the world not just who we are, but whose we are, and get our people together, get our stuff together, get everything that we wanted to do in place. And because of that, it puts you in a frame of mind where that, who's to blame now? Who can you hold responsible for your success? Who can you hold responsible for your failure? Who are you holding responsible for your insecurities, for your toxicity? See, one thing that while I was in the game and I was learning who I am, because see, when I was a person that they bet on because I was bright, like a lot of people in the hood, the hood got a lot of smart, genius motherfuckers. They really fucking do. The problem is that they don't see opportunities for them to get out the hood unless they're doing something that's basically for the entertainment world. And it's literally based off your environment. A lot of the suburban kids love the hood or street life because of the fact of the matter they can always go back to their normal life, which is the suburbs, where it's common. The police show up and you ain't got to worry about somebody running up to your house. If someone runs up to your house in the suburbs, you know who they are. Even if they're popping out the bushes, you're not scared. Oh my God, they're going to take something from her. They're going to hurt me. You're like, oh my God, that was not funny, John. Jeremy, you scared me. You feel what I'm saying? You're not walking around with that fear that it can all end one day. It can all be all over when you wake up. When you wake up in the morning, you're not literally thinking about that. See, so who are you blaming for that? Are you blaming the president? Are you blaming the government? Are you blaming the environment? Now, granted, leadership is a direct reflection of your leadership. Actually, Big Me said that. Despite what y'all feel about the dude, led and created a movement leveraging not only his brand, his knowledge, his ingenuity, his creativity, and his leadership. He also set the tone that was portrayed in the current shows on BM. Shout out to 50 Cent for that, and Lil Meech for playing this thing. Shout out to the whole BF family just for doing what they did. It eliminated a lot. It showed that we can be together, we can be unified, but we also can handle our business without fear of failure. Another prime example is the FOI, the Fruits of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and in the current day that's really making noise, Nuri Muhammad and 19 Keys. You know what I'm saying? Eliminating or removing the excuses for us not to be great. Setting the tone that, hey, you have no excuse to blame anybody. Now, for me, I resented for growing up, maturing in the 1990s, early 2000s. Where the internet was being the new technology of the internet and how to use the internet, how to sell on it online, how to leverage your creativity was still in its infant stage, just like how AI is right now. And when you were smart academically and you're in an environment where everybody is great physically in regards to athletic ability, this the era with Jordan, WrestleMania, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan was the shit. And still the shit, you know what I'm saying? The masculine energy of Dragon Ball Z, because I'm an anime fan. Japanese animation is still my shit, to my shit today. Shout out to all my anime people. Where that if you were into anything outside of Tupac, Jay-Z, Biggie, SWV, Adina Howard, like if you liked SWV as a man, you was gonna get fucked with. You know what I'm saying? It was just laying like that. So in those environments, as if you were academic or smart, you wasn't given fertile ground a lot of times to flourish without having to fear for your life, fear for your stability. Now, this also made you either one of the two. You either going to be strong or you was going to get strong armed. You feel what I'm saying? My father, thankful that I had a father that was strong and that set principles and character development ideas in my head, that even though I was a loner and I was highly introverted and I wanted to not be bothered with everybody, because eventually you become an outcast when you think different and move different. He put in me, the thing is, one of his best sayings is, you got to bring an ass to take an ass. You feel me? So there was no taking the lunch money over here. There was no trying to make it seem like, oh, just because you're bigger than me, that you're better than me. Just because you have more money than me, that you have more power than me. And what I'm here to share with you is that even though you came up in a space where opportunities wasn't always fertile, there was always a place where the opportunity could present itself. You feel me? See, the great part about the way the universe works, the way God works, as if you will, because I don't want to make it a religious thing, but I want to make it a spiritual thing, because in nature, God moves automatically. I mean, he moves in a nature that's automatic. You don't have to do anything outside of your natural alignment of who you are. Once you find out who you are, it works like that. So when you start trying to find yourself in a place of blaming somebody, at this point, you won't have any excuses, because even in a place where I went down a path that was not technically designed for me in regards to the adult entertainment industry, in regards to the place where that I used my creativity in its most exponential and explorative space did not prevent me from receiving not only the income but the influence. You see, the Bible always talks about this one thing of saying, what would profit the whole world to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Now, that's amazing that it's stated that, where you get so caught up. And this is where the blame game becomes the most prominent, is because you're blaming people because you got caught up in their environment that you may have been called in just to do a work and learn some lessons that you didn't learn based off your current situation, because you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you got to walk in other people's shoes and experience other people's lives to comprehend the blessings that was upon you when you was in your space, but also see the benefits of how to find the balance of alignment. See, the great part about the mind of the exoticpreneur and why I share it so much is that when you decide to understand your darkness, because in darkness is where light is produced. Now, how is this true? If you think about it like this, look at nature. When you plant a seed, is it light or dark when it gets into the ground? It's dark. That means in that part is where all the work is being done. See, in the world that I came from, that I worked in, you seen the men and the women working through the issues. They was working through their trauma. They were working through their pain, and they was finding ways to actually discover an opportunity to get out of that pain into a profit. What's going on, my boy? And when you get into that pain and you start finding out what can break me, what can take me out the game. And when I started experiencing these men and women who I thought I had it hard, my goodness, these men and women who may have been subject to molestation, rape, homelessness, which I didn't experience nothing but homelessness before. I've definitely been outside sleeping. I've been destitute once. Surviving and learning how to thrive in a jungle inside of a cage. Now check this out. Now imagine this. You in the jungle and you already trying to learn the tricks of the trade to survive. Then imagine being trapped inside of a cage where that not only is they're looking at you and they're spectating you, you're still inside of that jungle where that anything can still come in and come at you and take you out. Now imagine living like that and moving like that, growing up like that for not only for 10 years, 20 years. Imagine growing up like that at 10, 11, 15, 20, 25. When you come, if you figure out a way to get out that cage, you're not ready to play no games with nobody. Why? Because you survived some of the most harshest, the most grittiest things. And you're looking at, how did I get in that space? Mama, did you do that to me? Daddy, why did you leave me? Mama, why did you not teach me something better? And in that space, you have to also understand that in the universe, that when mama and daddy don't know, doesn't mean that the universe or God does not know how to show you once you ask for the opportunity to learn it, to get exposed to it, to learn how to find out what I don't know, somebody else knows. And for example, so tell you a funny story. Not a funny story, but when I got into the game, I wasn't introduced to the game by happenstance where that I just walked into a club and a bar, and then all of a sudden I became Don P, household name. No, I actually was introduced to the game through a man who was rebuilding his name and his brand because he had already went down and he was already in the streets, and he got out. He got out the jail. He got out the streets, so to speak, because they picked his ass up. You know what I'm saying? He went to jail. He went to the feds. He did his time in. He got out. And he said he wasn't going back. So he had to find a way. He linked up with some people in there, and they showed him. They showed him an opportunity where that he can still do what he do, leverage his marketing IQ, leveraging his communication skills, leveraging his not only his past successes, but his current progresses to his new purpose. He was able to find that opportunity based off of opportunity that was in a dark place. Look at it like this. Think about it like this. Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X was rediscovered themselves not in the light, not in the streets, but in the darkness when he had to get locked up. A lot of 19 Keys who surpassed and beat his case was in that dark spot because he was locked up because he got caught up even though he knew he was smart. Myself, who got caught up not in the street life because I was on the outskirts of the street life. Instead, I loved the women. I enjoyed providing quality creative spaces for the men and women that was for us, but I knew how to do it in a way that was so unique that it stood on its own, but I wasn't ready for the Wild West jungle. So when the universe brought my man Ray into my life, he brought him in a way where that I had someone who can mentor me and help me foresee and see the world in a different perspective. Because I thought the world was like the Cosby Show and Family Matters, the real talk. That's what my perception of the real world was. Honky dory for the most part. College life, upper middle class, so on and so forth. A funny, nurturing mother, kicking it out, strong dad that stood for no nonsense. That's what I thought the real world was about until I got outside and found out this ain't that. But because the principles of success, of stability, of identity was already in me through the sacred texts of the Bible, the Quran, and science, and a little bit of analytical thinking, common sense added on to that. The universe provided a mentorship, even in this street shit, to be a flashlight in that area of darkness where then now I was being led and seen. It's kind of, when you watch the movies and you see the little lights come up in the sci-fi movies and the lights start showing you down a path that's going to lead you to where you want to go because you asked the universe for an opportunity or guidance in your area of despair. And in that case, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was fired from a job because that's what I was taught to believe that was the path to greatness, was having a job. And at that time, it may have been during that era, but I foresee that automotive rail, the plant life and the stability of longevity wasn't in there. You had to become an entrepreneur. And I seen through my entrepreneur exploits from my father and other people that achieved a certain level of success that I was going to have to go down that path. Now, fast forward, when I got with my man and he started having me go out and hang out with us in the nightclub world, he introduced me to the adult exotic entertainment world as what I've been doing, taking pictures, creating opportunities for men and women to present themselves in a very high-end way, in a professional way, in a beautiful way. Some sexy, some not. Some with some savvy sensuality and some with just some sophistication and elevation. Either way it go, my brain worked in the creative space to take whatever idea you had in your head and put it on printed material, posters, billboards in a way that you wanted to buy it. And that intrigued me to the level where that I found a place where I could stay in there. So I couldn't blame nobody anymore because now I seen an opportunity and I jumped on it. Now, what happened in that place is that now when you start finding your purpose and you started defining it, now you don't have it perfected, but you are defining it and you're trying to lurk on the difference. This is when the problems start. You ever been in a place where that the second you got intentional about what you was trying to do, all the distractions come in? Who's to blame? You know what I mean? Because when you decide, say, hey, listen, I don't want to be nobody's do boy no more. I don't want to work for nobody else. I want to go out on my own. And all of a sudden, everybody hit you with all type of excessive bills, or they start talking down to you. They start talking to you soft and crazy. Hey, like you not going to succeed because you not with them no more, or that's like being in the gang or something. Once you out the game, you normally blood in, blood out. You feel me? They're gonna beat you in, they're gonna beat you out. You know what I'm saying? And not snitching. But in the regular world, they move the same type of way, but they just don't do it in a more violent way. They do it in a psychological way. They do it where that they start playing with your money. They start playing with your ability to earn a living through skill sets. They try and play relationship political games. See, so who's to blame? Who are you blaming for that? What I found is that when you define your purpose by learning and defining principles that you go by, principles that set the tone of how you going to create the area of engagement, at that point, you are now given complete power over purpose. It's like the saying, speak speak the power. It's like the speaking to power. It's like when you look in the mirror and you realize that no one has the power to control you, but everybody has an opportunity to experience you. Then you now take your power away from the enemy, away from the ones that was distracting you, away from the people that wanted to neglect you, away from the people that you thought hat was the one that's holding you, and put the power back into the hands of the holder, the creator, not the creation. That's you. See, so when you're trying to figure out who's to blame, you can't blame nobody once you know that no one had the power but you. No one had the power but you. No one had the power but you. So when you get into that space and you start looking at things going left, things going right, things not happening the way you imagined in your mind. And that's when you need to sit down and calm yourself. And you speak to yourself, you speak to your spirit, you speak to the one that set it all off, which is you. And you say, God, creator of all things, creator of the very essence that I'm speaking, saying that I know things are not working the way I imagined. But if you can set me in the path of the greatness based off the purpose that you have given me under the principles that have been defined by us on this paper, in my spirit, to move me in a direction or bring the people that is willing to align with the direction that you called me to work in for the people I am only called to serve. Show them to me. I'm not asking you to rush the process, but give me a little bit of guidance in that area where that I am confused. Bring me clarity in my idea of confusion. Bring me purpose in my problem of decision. And I promise you, I will do not just one half, but 100% of what is required to keep that process available. When I discovered that was the words that I had to speak to my spirit, the peace that passes all understanding, I swear, will guide everything, not only your mind, but your heart and everything that's in between. So that where that if you playing in the hot and ready world or the holy world, guess what? Your peace is still gonna stay on you. So you ain't got nobody to blame. You feel me? Only just elevate your mind to the next level. But make sure that your body is incapable of carrying your behind. You feel what I'm saying? And with that being said, listen, I pray that you enjoy this conversation, this talk. I highly invite that you tap into the Mind of Desire Entrepreneur. and subscribe, but also tap into the 6 daily habits where that you not only work on your self habit, you work on your health habit, you work on your financial habit, your relationship habit, your spiritual habit, and your business habit, man. It's 6 daily habits that you can handle every day, where that not only will you be able to successfully align and master your sexual energy, aligning it with your cosmic consciousness in a perfect balance of to attract all gains, not some gains, but all games, to achieve and define your purpose and wear with pride. With that being said, hey, I pray that you all stay healthy. Let's all become wealthy. Don P out.